Hey everyone, welcome back to Christian Penguin 1990. My name is Matthew, and I just wanted to go over make this video because so much is going on in the news today with it, anti-guns and so on. First of all, I just wanted to go over the Second Amendment, excuse me, and in that it does say you have the right to bear arms. Now, what that meant was firearms, period. It did not mean muskets only, like many of them are trying to say today. So, no, it did not mean muskets only. It meant firearms, period, because the founding fathers knew as time progressed, technology would come out and different types of arms would come out and so on. So, yes, they meant firearms as a whole, not muskets only. Okay, so, yes. Now, for ARs. First of all, AR stood for Armalite Rifle in the beginning. It did not stand for Assault Rifle. That is something that they have come up with to make it sound more intimidating, to get people scared of them, and so on, to make it easier to get rid of them. It stood for Armalite Rifle. However, some have started to say Army Rifle because that's what the Army started to use back in Vietnam and so on. But no, it stood for Armalite Rifle in the beginning. It does not stand for assault rifle, so quit saying that. Magazines. If you are a law-abiding citizen and you legally can purchase an AR and you want 30-round magazines, as you've already passed the background check and everything else, you should be able to legally own them. So there's nothing wrong with a 30-round magazine. So quit saying that. And one of the ones that they used as an example for this was they tried to say, well, if the perpetrators of a school shooting only had 10-round magazines, they wouldn't be able to shoot as many people because they'd have to constantly reload and whatever. So I did some research on it, and I found out that almost over 80 to 90% of school shootings were with low round count magazines. They were not 30 rounds, they were 10 rounds, 8 rounds, whatever. So, well, that blew that little hypothesis of theirs out of the water. And what they're doing is they're lying. They're trying to get firearms out of the populace, out of the general public for some reason. I don't know why, but they're trying to get you to turn in your guns, get you scared of guns, get people to turn against you if you have a gun. And there's an agenda there that I don't know what the agenda is yet, but there's an agenda as to why they don't want you to own firearms. And I'll get to more on that in a second on this video. Okay, so from there, now, when it comes to pistols and so on, again, you depending on the states, most states I think you have to do this. I know in my state you do. You have to get a pistol purchase permit to be able to purchase a pistol, and you have to be 21 years of age or older. Now you have to go through a background check, excuse me, and in some cases, I think for the, sorry, got hiccups. I think for the concealed carry, you have to actually go through a psychiatric evaluation in my state and so on. And they do so much to make it difficult to get the gun to begin with that if you finally are able to purchase the firearm legally because you got the permit, you got the concealed carry permit and so on, and yet somebody will still come up to you and say, you must be crazy because you have a gun. Like, do you understand what that person just went through to get that for their own personal safety and protection? They don't have the gun to go out and cause problems. They're wanting to protect themselves and their family. So yes, if you are a law-abiding citizen and you pass the background check, you pass a psych eval, whatever that they make you do in your state, and you want to purchase a pistol, you should be able to do so, abiding by the law of that state. Now, let's get into the religious aspect of it because I just saw this on PBS not that long ago where they had a bunch of religious people, and so apparently it's not working in politics up in Congress. So hey, we're going to get the religious people involved, get them to say yes, it's bad for you to have a gun. Bunch of morons. But anyway, okay, so first of all, they tried to say, well, the Bible says thou shalt not kill. Okay, first of all, you're totally missing the point of that commandment. When it was written or interpreted back in 1611, um, it was interpreted from a Hebrew word, and that word meant murder, as in what we call today first degree murder, second degree murder, and so on, basically killing with malice. Back then, they knew that's what that word meant because, you know, they knew the distinction between defending yourself versus you just wearing out and decide to kill somebody. So yes, the commandment meant thou shalt not murder, not kill. Period. You do have the right to defend yourself. and that's in other parts of the Bible where it talks about accidental death, like manslaughter and stuff that will happen with that. So even other parts of the Bible distinguish murder from manslaughter from self-defense. So no, it does not mean you cannot kill ever. If you have to, which would be very unfortunate, but if you do need to in self-defense of you or your family or another person about to be killed, yes, you can take the life if you have to. Okay. Now, they also tried to say, well, Jesus said to love your enemy, but it's very hard to love your enemy when you have a pistol pointed at them and so on. And I about lost it. Because here you have a pastor purposely or accidentally, most likely purposely for this agenda, because he's anti-gun to begin with, purposely misstating what Jesus was talking about. I mean, that's not what Jesus was talking about, folks. What Jesus meant and love your enemy is if you're out there and you're trying to preach the gospel to somebody and they walk up and curse at you, call you names, make fun of you, whatever, you're supposed to show them love. You're supposed to show them kindness, say, I'll pray for you, and, whatever. That's what Jesus meant. He did not mean if somebody breaks into your home and they're about to rape your wife and kill your family, that you sit there and say, let me tell you about the Bible and I love you. No, that's not what Jesus meant. So quit saying that. So in this case, that pastor is very wrong. He needs to go back and restudy what the Bible means and what Jesus was talking about. Um, but yes, you do have the right to defend yourself. And actually, multiple times, it said that when the disciples would go off with Jesus, they carried swords. Swords at that time was the guns of that day. Jesus didn't tell them, stop, we got to wait for you to take the sword home. You're not supposed to have weapons. You can't defend yourself. He didn't do that. He let them carry the swords because they had a right to defend themselves if something was to happen. So there again, what a lot of people do is they nitpick parts of the Bible, Christians and atheists alike, and they try to use them for their own little agendas that they have, which is wrong. Stop doing that. Read it in context. And so no, that's not what Jesus meant by that. And he was talking about if they were trying to verbally abuse you, make fun of you, whatever. He was not talking about if they're in there trying to kill or rape your family, that you just sit back and say, I love you and I'm praying for you while they do it. No, you grab a gun and you shoot them and stop them. Okay. Type of guns that you should own as personal self-defense. Me, I'm not going to spell it out, all of that I have, but I do have a pistol, shotgun, and rifles, mostly because I hunt. So, but for self-defense, what I would use, pistol and shotgun, that gets the job done. You don't really need a AR if you for personal self-defense in your house. Now it is fun. I have had ARs. It is fun to take them out and just go shooting with them. They're a lot of fun to go shoot at the range and do these little combat courses that people have competition. That is actually a lot of fun. Um, so basically being a hunter, I have mostly stuff for hunting. That's mostly what I purchased for. And the pistols is what I call my anti-bear gun, which I carry on my side in case a bear shows up. And the shotgun doesn't do it. I'll keep shooting until I run out of ammo of everything I've got on me. But yeah, so that. Now, for those of you who have never shot a firearm and you're thinking about, with things going the way things are going in the world today, or even in this country right now, I really want to go out and purchase a gun, but I've never shot one. So what would be your suggestion? Here's my suggestion. Get up with a friend, or even if you have a friend that's law enforcement, get up with them, talk to them. Hey, um, for a first timer, what would be a good pistol? Where's a good range to go practice? Can you help me learn to shoot, learn the basics of breaking the weapon down to clean it and so on. And a lot of them will help you because you are trying to actually learn safely how to operate the firearm and so on. Now, for most people, I would say a 38 Special is a good caliber firearm to start off with. It's a revolver, and you can go from there. But definitely go take a safety course if somebody offers one when it comes to firearms. But you always have to be safe. Safety is paramount. Um, get a gun safe if you can get one to lock it up, keep it away from children. Get trigger locks to keep it away, to keep kids from being able to get a hold to it if they do, to be able to pull the trigger. Do not leave the gun loaded. You can leave the magazines loaded, but don't leave the gun loaded and ready to go. Put the magazine somewhere else to where something happens, and let's say you're in your upstairs bedroom and someone breaks in, you can grab the gun and grab the magazine, put the magazine in, cock the gun, and you're good to go in a couple of seconds. I would do it that way. But yeah, definitely get up with somebody who is into firearms, ask them to go over things with you, safety-wise, help you figure out the perfect starter pistol for you. Now, with these politicians and their anti-gun rhetoric, I won't go into their names, you already know who they are, but there's something y'all really need to stop and look at. All the ones that are calling for you to turn in your firearms, are they themselves protected by people with firearms? Just saying. So if they know a good guy with a gun will stop a bad guy with a gun, why is it okay for them to be protected by armed security, but you're not allowed to protect yourself with a firearm at your own home? Really think about that for a minute. So, yes, that is why I am not listening to their anti-gun rhetoric, because they are hypocrites to the core. While they might not own one, they're protected by people that do own them. So, no, you have the right to own a firearm for your personal protection. Go get one if you're a legal citizen and can do so. Um, and also throughout history, any government that's come out and tried to collect guns, the next thing they do is they round up people and annihilate them, or they deport them or something. So you might want to find out who they're trying to annihilate and round up. Because, like I said, throughout history, that's what they did. Don't believe me? Look at Germany. The first thing they did under Hitler was issue gun control, and next thing they did is they rounded up the Jews. So, yeah, so just food for thought. But yes, you do have the right to own a firearm legally if you go through the right processes through your state and so on. So if you want one, do it safely. Always remember safety is paramount. Get somebody to show you the safe ways to lock your firearm up, to use your firearm when you need to, and so on. And just hopefully this video helps. And I hope y'all have a blessed day, and I'll talk to y'all later.